everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Let's Play Dual Destinies. I believe will be the last video of this case, I hope, because there's not a whole lot left, but you never know, it might go a little over for a little bit, so let's see how it goes. Of course, only real blades will do. No swords at school! All weapons will be confiscated! Ah! Nurse! Nurse! Where's the school nurse when you need one? It would seem Sykstono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case, you would do well to draw your staff quick as lightning. Yeah, I'm still a little sick, excuse me. Very well, then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lesson begins in second period. Prepare to be served, old school style. What does that... Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please. Now pay attention! Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of this other statue between 7 o'clock and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I have possibly had the time to go to the art room and commit murder? You make a valid point. You say the defendant stole the finished statues. Precisely! She said so herself at the detention center yesterday. Her defense team was there and heard her say so, too. Don't try to deny it now!
That evening, I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. It was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. They were quite large, and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell. Oh, right. The professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish in that short of time. That didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means.
Cross-examination! Now pay attention! Oh, wait, sorry, what am I doing? I believe we are... I'm tired. Well, I think we're supposed to be pressing on everything, or... Where's the statue one? Where he said he could not leave the... Yeah, there we go, we're gonna press that one.
Why were you in such a hurry?
Objection! In a legal world, your body is your capital. The early bird gets the worm. That's why I get to bed at 9 o'clock each and every night. Nobody may speak with me. And that's why I was working as fast as I could. I didn't want to miss my bedtime. Wow, okay. Well, ready to concede that I never left the stage? Well, Miss Sykes, do you accept the witness's claim? This was a trick question, because usually you're supposed to say no, but actually, yes. It's here, yes, you have to agree.
I've tried everything, but I still can't prove anything. I guess I concede.
I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time.
I concede that Professor Means never left the stage.
That's right. But what took you so long? I was there at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime.
I'm not gonna give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Objection! Not yet! The defense still has an objection.
Athena, you thought of something?
Well, I said not yet.
Oh, so it's time for legal smoke and mirrors?
Not yet, Athena. It's not yet time to quit. It's at times like these when it seems like there's no way out that you have to... Yeah, I have to turn the case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, I should focus on how he could commit murder without going there.
It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. I must use any means possible to distract her. See if she can think while I cast these stones. Ah! Who brought the bird to school? Sykes Dodo, if I hear one word of your usual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between these two key facts?
If I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time, the only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it! Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the crime scene. If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer.
Objection! Ridiculous! The defense has become utterly incoherent!
Objection! No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was.
Continue, Sykes Dodo.
Okay, the murder was actually committed here.
Well, it's already there for me, so... the stage.
The greatest riddle of this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all.
Objection! Silly girl! When the body was found, there wasn't a drop of blood on the stage floor! Surely there must have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed. A valid point.
There wasn't any blood on the stage? Really? But there was something on stage at the time of the murder that's now bloodstained.
And you presented the school banner.
Take that! It's true, there were no bloodstains on the stage floor. But there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this, the school banner. No blood would have gone on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed.
Oh my, that's quite a compelling story.
Silence.
No!
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense.
That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go? Blood getting on there was when the body was moved was by wire. Makes more sense than not. Yeah! Good one! Very good, Simon! Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection! Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You do?
If there was only a trace of amount of blood on the school banner, then there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what soaked up most of the victim's blood.
This banner. The poor Gavinier banner. Why, it looks like there's some other piece of fabric on top of the school banner.
It's the Gavinier's banner that had been specially made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth. And only a small amount would have soaked through the school banner below. So, it makes total sense for the school banner to have only a little amount of, have a little blood on it.
Ah! So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it. The Gavinier's banner was like a dishcloth? Surely it was at least towel quality. Oh, Apollo. Objection! Simon! Don't just stand there, do something!
Silence.
Sykes Dono, you are learning to wield a blade quite well, but how will you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large blood stain was detected in the art room. But why would there be blood there if the murder occurred on the stage, as you claim?
Objection! The blood stain in the art room was fake. How? I'll tell you how. All that was needed was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we've just finished discussing. The killer used this to bring the victim's blood up to the art room.
The burn fragments. Present. To think you stooped so low as to present mere garbage to this court.
It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it into the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer seeking to get rid of the crucial evidence. The killer used a wire to bring the blood-soaked Scavenger's banner to the art room. Then the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. It makes perfect sense.
Ah! Gah! I'm gonna get you, Aristotle. Order! Order! This is quite a development. To think the body was never actually moved. Objection! Hold it right there! The body must have been moved! How else do you explain the loud crash you heard during the mock trial? If it wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statue, then what was it?
I hadn't thought about that. If that loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues, then what was it indeed?
Oh, but we already know.
The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wiring in it. So if that's true, I know what I have to find. Something that was in the art room before the murder, and then on the stage after.
Well, we know what it is.
The object that was sent down the wire to crash in the statue was
Lady Justice. Ah! That statue?
Yes, I believe it was the statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it as you see it here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence.
Perhaps you are on to something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrap heap relic in such a tedious matter? Excellent question, Simon! Keep them coming!
You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial, during the time Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to point us to the body. Professor Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cementing his alibi.
Ah! That's quite a persuasive argument. For a while there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. Okay, Judge. He's been through this so much, he just takes it. Objection! You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says, and says what he means by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
Pop quiz! The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage until they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial. So, answer me this! Why did anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by,
If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And, of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage. This is not good, Athena. Our client is this close to being beaten to a pulp.
I know. We've come so far.
Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be.
Just wait a minute.
Poor Juniper. She must be seriously regretting having asked you to defend her. And to add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. Surely, you haven't forgotten that little fiasco.
Ah!
Oh my god. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against your friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer. Wow, you're a douche canoe.
Ah!
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I? Don't tell me I failed once again. I failed to save someone near and dear to me. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer and even study psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again?
Athena? What's wrong?
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Relax, Athena. Breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would.
Objection! You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me!
It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I.
That was slow.
I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against Hugh. And that's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things.
Objection. What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important.
But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... Objection! It's not over yet, Athena.
Power of friendship!
Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie. I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark ages of law like the professor did. Thank you, Junie, but I feel like I could barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence.
Stop your bleating this instant. You look like an utter fool.
Prosecutor Blackwell?
There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you-know-who. Objection! You're wasting your time! You have nothing on me! No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt! You are helpless before the might of lawyers, for whom the end justifies the means!
Objection!
Shut up. Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him.
But Apollo, what am I supposed to do now?
Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. We're all behind you!
Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat.
Thought route!
Professor Court wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body there from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's think along these lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from its hiding place? Well, let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of time his fake alibi created. Excuse me. To move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Professor Means could have removed the body from its hiding place is during the mock trial.
That's obvious.
It was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech.
This is common sense, game!
Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before, specifically
The white statue.
During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the White Lady Justice in the school banner and sent it zipping down to the stage with a crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. But was there anything to hide the body on the stage? It doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be someplace. Wait a second. How about something that should have been finished but was only mostly done? Something was used to cover the body up, but didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. What was already on stage and capable of concealing a body?
The right statue. The body was hidden by right statue.
Oh, I know! The Mr. Right statue was never actually finished. The body was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside. Cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue.
Mind-blowing.
Ms. Newman gave up on the right statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night.
Yes, what an impressive feat that was. Hold it.
No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Professor Court.
Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow.
He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Right. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looks just like a statue.
What? I second that. What? Now this is getting interesting. Objection! No, this is getting preposterous! How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection! We'll never know until we try.
Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going.
Okay, Apollo, time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Right. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. Now, I want you to wrap me up in a cloth so I look like a statue.
I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth? I don't know, but it's a video game. I'm sure you can find it in Hammer Space. I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice. Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor. Alright, I think that about does it. Nope.
Well, what do you think, everyone? Do I look like a statue of Mr. Right or what?
Looks like some random person to me. Weren't the statues a pair of busts?
Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair in the back of his head. Forget the hair, the statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway. You gotta hand it to me before trying anyway. Wait, that's it! The hands! Her arms were raised over her head and there's a dark bruise around her wrist.
Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something.
The marks on her wrist indicate she's been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose! Wait, you're not in that kind of thing, aren't you? You're not into this kind of thing, are you?
What? No! Besides, it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already.
Professor Court's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied?
Behind your head.
Apollo, tie both of my hands behind my head. See? This makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head.
Sure, but then what about the statue's arm? With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose.
Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the ejection pose like this.
I can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now.
What did the victim's body have that I don't?
Take that!
I believe it's the arrow?
Oh right, there was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and punch it into my side.
What are you, crazy?
Fine, then go get some duct tape. Rapido, schnell!
Alright, alright. I don't need to know other languages to know bossy when I hear it. Poor Apollo.
The fatal arrow to the side. Spiky hair created from 2 hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now cover me with that cloth. But remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Mommy, the arms are too short. Shh, remember your indoor voice, dear.
Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough.
But, what else could you use for the arm?
Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you, if only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. After all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me again, and the penalty will be doubly painful.
Yikes! I guess I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think. Professor Court was murdered when she stopped by the stage to see Professor Means. If it wasn't permanent dated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse. Apollo, show me those stage setup photos again.
Like that? Right now? Okay, hold on.
Please, 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 please be in this photo. It has to be. The arm on the Mr. Right statue is really this right here.
His staff.
Got it! I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Right.
This is absurd! There is no such thing in this photo!
Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Staff? This is the spear of the great legal warrior!
Whatever. Just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect! Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object in such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo.
Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up. Apollo! This is... Poor Apollo.
Objection!
Well,
It's Phoenix Wright! Look, it's that famous lawyer!
That's definitely him. I'd know that pose anywhere. We did it! Didn't we?
Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into an era of brilliant golden light.
That is so cheesy. Why? Golden light? All I see before me is the pink specter of a man.
That's just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. He's possibly tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink.
Blah. That joke deserves a pink slip. Ah, these puns! It seems the gallery is quite impressed by the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness? Bah! The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence! Everyone fails except me. Okay, whatever.
Not so fast, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than mere coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust in the victim, all I have to do is
test the spear for blood. Ah.
We had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcefully shoved in. But if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it.
Ah! Your Honor! A brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? What's wrong with the Professor? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now, I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate.
You know, as annoying as this case is, his breakdown is still probably the most entertaining. Boo! Take it like a man, damn it! Professor, please. I'm still wondering how you got that chalkboard in there. Prosecutor Blackhill, what has become of our witness, Aristotle Means? It is as Sykes Dodo suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to his heinous crime. All of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there. Great. He'll teach felons that the ends justify the means. So much for rehabilitation.
Can I ask what the professor's motives was?
I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. Why not a former dentist, too?
I eventually had him put pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on that stage. The result? The heinous crimes that was brought before this court. The fool, like Newman, had come to know of the script's content via the victim's note. It seems he came up with the plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order to make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant.
But that scrap of paper with Hugh's name had the same mark as Professor Kurt's planner.
Yes, about that. Those plans are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class.
Really? So then...
Indeed, once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This, too, was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. Know that Constant Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes. To think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. and the first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. The court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods. Not guilty! Confetti! As I mute the mic and blow my nose. Because this is the most moving thing! Except that's not true, my nose is just kind of running. I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you, if we are ever to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Court's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
That's the last thing I expect to hear from him today.
Court is adjourned. Yeah, we're done! Sort of. 35 minutes in. Jeez, can we do this in 40 minutes?
Thank you, Thana. I really mean it.
It was nothing, really.
I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that.
With help? I don't know. You look pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively.
You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo.
Don't mention it.
The way you were always there for Thana when she was in a bind. And at the detention center where your smile gave me hope when there was none. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down on peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person.
Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. Oh my god, these two. But I still have lots of work to do, and I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench.
I promise you I'll get there someday. That's why, until that day, I'll...
These two are so cute.
Guys, I've got big news! I mean, this is huge! Oh, am I interrupting something? No, it's okay, I think. So what's the big news? The school festival! It was supposed to have been cancelled after what happened, but...
We just got a call. In memory of Professor Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow.
Really? Oh, right!
Showtime! Cutscene!
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the Guitar Serenade.
I have many things to say about that cutscene.
Wow, that was so much fun! School festivals are amazing! I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. Ah, your singing voice, Juniper! It could melt my HEART!
Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Just remember the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win, although Ramen had you for a while there.
I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. I'm going to make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and he won? Level-headed lawyer course genius and hot-blooded prosecutor course student. We'll go head-to-head in a mock trial battle for the She-Devil's Black Heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen?
Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you.
Huh? Ooh! Is he going to do what I think he is?
Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends like we've always been?
Huh? Best friends? Hugh, weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial?
No, I was going to confess that I'm not a genius, and that I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial.
Whoops! Listen, Hugh, you too, Robin. Miriam? And Miriam? Me too? Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. I've been thinking. It's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in!
I wouldn't have it any other way. Is that supposed to mean yes or no? Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship.
You bet! And what about your BFF, Apollo?
Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office.
Hey, no talking about me behind my back! So, what kind of guy is he anyway?
Well, if I had to describe him in one word... we never find out!
And so, after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind?
It's kind of personal, okay, Athena? And I think we are finally done. We are done! Only 2 more cases left, and case 5 is going to be a little surprise. But anyway, thank you for watching, when I will hopefully feel better because this is torture. I'll see you guys in the next video for case 4. And if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment if you got any thoughts about what I'm doing. And if you want to ask about stuff I'm doing in the future. Alright, bye-bye. We're really overtimed.